Hey y'all. So today what I'm going to talk about is how much does it actually cost to live in Houston? Not the nitty gritty things, but some of the small things that people might not think about when you move to Houston from another state. And so we will just get to it. First one, I had to learn the very difficult way is for my electricity bill. I only learned this obviously growing up. My parents' house didn't know anything about that. But once I bought my own house about 8 years ago, here in Houston, there isn't just one company, right? So from what I've heard in other, states and other cities, people, there's just one company and however much you use is how much you're billed. But here, there's hundreds of different companies to choose from. And it is how it is. It's based on your usage of kilowatt per hour. So how I've gotten bills that are well over a couple $100, which might seem little to some people, but my townhouse is only 1,200 square feet, very small. And so, I'm used to less than $50 for my electricity bill. But if I'm under the wrong plan, then my bill can quadruple very easily. So with that being said, that's something that it's a long, tedious and consuming process. But once you get the hang of it, you can look at your old bills and realize, what usage on an average that you use, and you can pick, either a fixed rate or a variable rate, and you'll get used to it. But don't overlook that process when you are shopping for an electricity company. With that being said, one of the or the site that I always use is powertochoose.org. So it really lines everything out there for you, and they do base it on price and customer service. So those two different things I definitely keep in mind, because just because it's cheaper, just like anything else, you want to be able to have the good customer service for when something does go wrong, if and when it does. The second thing that I would make sure to look up too is the what is it, the delivery fee that they have. So the price per kilowatt per hour might seem much lower or cheaper on some, but they'll get you with the delivery fee. So that small print, make sure not to overlook. And then the third thing to make sure when you're shopping for electricity, for the most part, it's a 12-month contract. So you can be, on cruise control, but once your 12-month contract is over, they don't really tell you. So it's something that you need to mark in your calendar and make sure of, because that very, 13th month, it will spike tremendously. And once you get that bill, it is quite shocking. And then you'll shoot yourself in the foot and realize that you could have changed it and saved some money. So I've fallen into that probably 2 years in a row, and now I definitely make sure that I am on top of that. But it is something for those newer to Houston to think about and make sure that you stay on top of. Okay, so something else that most people know, but in case you don't, here in Texas, we do not have income tax, which is a good thing, but it does equal out because we do have high property taxes. So with that being said, it's all dependent on the MUD district that you're in, which is Municipal Utility District. And property taxes can range anywhere between high ones to even low threes. And again, that's all about location, school districts, everything, in and around where you choose to live. And so that is something to definitely keep in mind when you are relocating here or purchasing a home for investment or for, yourself to live in. Again, some of those hidden things that it seems great until you get the bill, and it's not so great after all. So remember that we don't have state income tax, but our property taxes are slightly higher than the rest of the nation. Okay, so another thing that I want to discuss is the internet. I never had this issue or never even knew that this was an issue until a friend of mine that moved here from out of state mentioned. So I definitely want to make sure that you guys know about it. That and usually in other places, or from what I hear, is that the internet is unlimited in terms of other places, but once he lived here or moved here, he had a plan and they called him and said, oh, because you are over your limit for the annual amount of internet power. I'm so bad with this gigs or whatnot. Anyways, and they were going to charge him extra. So when setting up your internet, and make sure that you get a plan that is unlimited unless you are able to control how much you use, which I'm going to think that most people have no idea. And that's just kind of an uncontrollable thing. So make sure not to get surprise attacked with a crazy overusage internet bill. So check that out too. Okay, so another thing to think about when moving to Houston is how large we are. Remember, Houston is the 4th largest city in the US. With that being said, there's a lot of land here and a lot of roads and a lot of different, vast majority of or vast land to drive through. So with that being said, even though if you look on a map and it looks like it's very close, places from one side of town to the other could be up to an hour. Something to invest into or look into is getting an easy tag. Easy tag is where you can go on Beltway 8, which is our outer loop. And there is a toll, or it is a tollway, but it's definitely well worth the money. I think it's just kind of like a tracking system. And I want to say, I mean, I drive on it quite a bit, but I probably don't use, once your money gets to like less than $20, they'll automatically charge you like $80 to it. But I don't even go through that every 2 to 3 months, maybe. So, it gives you that option to skip some of the traffic and definitely well worth it. So make sure to get your easy tag for Beltway 8. I know that I spoke about this before. A big plus of living here in Houston is our medical center. And we have the largest medical center in the world, not just the nation, but the world. And so with that being said, health costs here, a lot of people, with different insurances, I want to say it's the same anywhere you're at in the nation. But if, God forbid that something else is wrong and that you need some type of specialization or specialty doctor, we have the best in the world here in Houston. And so just rest assured that you will be taken care of, having, in terms of health costs and not having to travel too far. A lot of people actually will travel to Houston to get their medical concerns looked at. Just, like I said, from anywhere all over the world, they will come here to us. So that is something not so much of a cost to you guys, but a savings. Okay, so last one that a lot of people don't think about when they move to Houston is extermination costs. Unfortunately, here being in the South, being humid and having warm weather, there are a lot more bugs, more specifically cockroaches in the area. So extermination fees, you can do like a monthly, they can come to your house or bi-monthly, but it's something that I would definitely put into your budget and something to think about when moving to the area. So not a fun thing to think about altogether, all those little critters, but definitely pays off in the end. So thank you guys so much. That ends the episode today about costs of living in Houston. That's just kind of a tidbit of things that a lot of people don't think of, and hopefully you will think of those things and it's helpful for you guys. So thanks so much.